How many times you have applied for a job or sent your CV to a company for a job? You think it's perfectly tailored for you, but then you didn't hear from them again. Today, we are going to introduce 30 things that you should not include in your professional CV. Hi, my name is Mohammed Wagi. I'm the author and CV consultant at brilliantcv.org. First, we need to talk about the journey of your CV. According to careerbuilder.com, hiring managers receive 75 CVs per position they post. Then the number can multiply according to the factors like country or the company you are applying for or the position itself. So on average, the hiring managers spend 6 seconds only in the fit or no fit position for your CV. It's crazy, isn't it? So to qualify this test, your qualifications shouldn't only be solid, but also your CV has to be perfectly highlighting these qualifications. So now we will be talking about 30 things that you should not apply or include in your CV according to an article that was published on the British Independent newspaper. Number 1. Objective. If you applied, it's already obvious you want the job. Of course, there is an exception. Only if you are changing industries, it could be also useful to include a brief summary. Number 2. Irrelevant work experience. Well, you can be the master of making coffee or lattes at the cafe that you've been working in during school years. But unless you are trying to redeem this title back, it's time to get rid of all that clutter. According to career expert Alisa Gilbert, only include this experience if it really showcases additional skills that can be translated to the position you are applying for right now. Number 3. Personal stuff. No need now to include your marital status, religion preferences, ID or social security number. That might have been a standard in the past, but not anymore. It now can be illegal or highly discouraged by your employer to ask you about it, so no need to include it. 4. Your hobbies. Nobody cares. Seriously, if it's not relevant to the job you are applying for, it will be a waste of space and a waste of company's time. Number 5. Lies.
I got a bad feeling about this.
On a survey that was asking 2,000 hiring managers for a memorable CV mistake, lies were the most popular choice. For example, one candidate claimed he is a former CEO of the company he has been applying for. Another claimed he is a Nobel Prize winner. And one claimed he attended a college that did not exist. In fact, hiring managers are more forgiving than job seekers might think, according to Rosemary Hefner, the chief CEO of careerbuilder.com. In fact, the candidate who meet only 3 out of the 5 key skills of a specific role will be considered. Well, not bad at all. Number 6 will be your age. Unless you want to be discriminated for a position because of your age, it's time to remove your graduation date, according to Catherine Jewell, author of New Resume, New Career. Too much text. Number 7. According to J.T. O'Donnell, that's an epic fail. The founder of career advice site recommends a lot of white space and no more than 0.8 margin. Number 8. Time off. If you took some time off to travel or raise a family, that's no bad about it. But according to experts, don't recommend this or include it in your CV. In some countries, it's acceptable to include it. However, in some other countries like the US, it's highly discouraged. 9. References. If your employers want to speak to your references, simply they will ask you. So if you write references upon request, then you are wasting a valuable time. Remember that. Number 10. Inconsistent formatting. The format of your CV is as important as its content, according to Amanda Augustine, career advice expert. So, if you pick a format, stick with it throughout the rest of your CV. Number 11. Personal pronouns. You should not include the word I, me, she, or my. Don't write your CV in the third or first person. It's understood that everything in your CV is all about you and your experiences. Number 12. Present tense for past jobs. Do I need to explain more? Number 13. An unprofessional email address. Well, it's time to pick a new one. And you can create it in 2 minutes and it's also free. If you like what you're watching so far, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so that we can reach to as much people as we can and then they can get benefit of this video as well. Number 14. Unnecessary obvious words like phone or email. Again, they are taking a precious space. 15. Headers, footers, tables, images, charts. I do understand that you want your CV to stand out of the crowd, but the system that the hiring managers are using will scramble up your CV, spitting it out in a poorly formatting. It will not include your headers or footers anymore. So even if you were the ideal candidate, they will not have reason to contact you for the interview. 16. Your current business contact info. According to Amador, that's not only dangerous, it's stupid. Do you really want your employer to call you at work? And how will you handle this? So just don't include it. Same goes to number 17, your boss's name. Simply don't include your boss's name in your CV unless you're okay with your potential employer contacting him or her. Even then, Gilbert says that the only reason your boss's name should be in your CV is if you are working for someone noteworthy, and it's really impressive. So unless you're working for Jeff Bezos or Jack Ma, you know what to do. Number 18. Company-specific jargon. Companies often have their own internal names or expressions like customized software, technologies, and processes. Gilbert said, be sure to exclude these terms from your CV because it's only known in a specific organization, which is your company. 19. Social media URLs that's not related to the position, like Pinterest page, Instagram account, opinionated blogs. That has nothing to do with the post you are applying for as a real estate agent, for example. Instead, it's better to post a relevant URL such as your LinkedIn page or any other professional or directly related position that you are trying to acquire. Number 20. More than 15 years of experience. That goes without saying. If you are posting something before 2005, for example, you are starting to lose the hiring manager's interest. Instead, focus on the current role and how to solidify it, and never include any dates or education or certification that's older than 15 years. 21. Salary information. Some people include their hourly jobs that held in their university. That's completely unnecessary and might send the wrong message. According to Amy Hoover, president of Talent Zoo, you shouldn't address your desired salary in the CV, because this document is intended to showcase your professional experience and skill. However, salary comes later in the interview process. 22 and 23. Outdated fonts and fancy fonts. Don't use Times New Roman and serif fonts. This is outdated and old-fashioned. Instead, use standard and sans serif fonts like Arial. Be aware also of the font size. Your goal is to make your CV looks nice and sleek, but easy to read. So it's better to get away with the curly fonts as well. 24. Annoying buzzwords. According to CareerBuilder.com, they asked 2,201 US hiring managers what's the CV terms that are the biggest turnoffs for you. They cited words like best of breed, go-getter, thinking out of the box, people pleaser, and this kind of words. Instead, terms employers do like to see in your CV includes achieved, managed, resolved, and launched, but only if you use them in moderation. Number 25. Reasons you left your previous company or position. It goes without saying that bad-mouthing your previous company doesn't get you any better, and listing it in your CV doesn't give you a better chances as expected. Instead, if you really want to do that, use the interview to address this, but I highly don't recommend. 26. Grades. Once you're out of school, your grades aren't so relevant here. If it was particularly high, yeah, maybe you can leave it. But if it's more than 3 years out of school and your grades weren't outstanding, ditch it. 27. An explanation why you want this job exactly. I think you agree with me this is a job of the cover letter and interview as well, isn't it? 28. A photo of yourself. This might become normal at some point in the future, but it's weird and tacky and distracting. So unless you are applying for a modeling or auditions, just don't include it unless they specifically ask for it. 29. Opinions, not facts. Don't try to sell yourself by using all sorts of subjective words. Like I'm highly motivated, excellent communicator. This is your opinion, not necessarily to be the truth. Recruiters want facts only, and then they will decide this once they meet you. And finally, for number 30, short-term employment. Avoid including a job on your CV that you have been held for a short period of time. You should especially avoid including any jobs that you were let go or you didn't like. And now, after you heard all these 30 mistakes, comment below honestly and say which one was already in your CV. And don't forget to subscribe for the channel. See you next week.